Hello everybody, welcome back. Let's have a look at some of these charts. We're starting off with the S&P with a massive big red candle just smashing straight through to the top of this trend line, which previously was the falling channel, which you'd hope to see act as support, but obviously hasn't. So yesterday, pretty bad move here on stocks. I mean, from the top to the bottom, it's close to a 2% move in a day. That's right. And we all thought it was just crypto that dies, wasn't it, really? We all thought crypto was the problem. Well, actually, no. It was the entire market, all pulled back, all at the same time. And then some people highlight the fact that, yeah, it was Bybit, yeah, blah, 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 insolvency or whatever. I find it hard to imagine that Bybit going to be insolvent, but who knows? Nobody knows. We'll have to wait and see. You know, I don't trade on there anymore. I'm not even able to trade on there anymore. You know, it's just, you know, they used to be Wild West, and then they decided to toe the line. So, yeah, they don't want my business. It's all about, if you want to do futures, it's BYDFi, and even them, you know, I suppose the time will come when they'll probably say no to UK customers anyway. I mean, they have a little message on there at the moment saying, you know, you're not supposed to be on here, mate, but, you know, can't really stop you, but, you know, just putting it out there, this isn't for you, mate, you're from the UK, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, I don't know what I'm talking about. I mean, let's get back into the charts then, shall we? So, yeah, reflecting on this is US 500, it's the S&P, it's a big down day for the S&P. So, sometimes it's worth just, like, standing back and recognising that it's not all crypto related. Yeah, there's stories that come out and about, but really it's not just a crypto thing. You know, you look at Bitcoin or any altcoin yesterday, or the end of the day yesterday, you're like, oh, crypto, not again. But actually, everybody did it. You're not on your own there. So there's Bitcoin basically from the top of the Bollinger Band to the bottom of the Bollinger Band, and now to the center of the Bollinger Band and below. So again, we're still struggling with this little area really. As far as the money flow index and RSI is concerned, it is a series of higher lows, which suggests some kind of hidden bullish divergence, which suggests some kind of building strength. Unfortunately, however, there is a short signal now on the daily, and we have to recognise that for what it is. You know, this does exist, and it is a real thing. Oh, excuse me, I just drank my coffee way too fast. It is a real thing. It has a high probability of playing out, and due to the nature of this signal, if it were to play out, you measure it down to the next major level of support, which is 92,500. And if it does have room to move beyond there, it could take you all the way to the 200 exponentials, 85,500. I know, disappointing, right? Disappointing. It's not a trend signal, it's a short signal. And so, again, first level, second level. If it were to play at all, it does exist, it is a real thing. And that's what it's suggesting. Whether you take it, you know, on face value is different. I'm not shorting this market. In fact, I'm not doing any futures on this market now. I've done enough over the last few weeks and limited success. You know, big gains and majority stopped out, I have to say. So let's just leave it for what it is. Let's leave it how it is. Let Bitcoin work its way out or break down, basically. My conviction is that it's going to work its way out. I noticed in the comments there's a few people disagreeing with that, and that's fine. Like I say, I want you to disagree with me. I want counter-arguments to my analysis. You know, it's just one of those things that you get stuck in your own echo chamber, and that's fine. I don't look at other people's analysis. It takes me away from my own, but sometimes if I ever do decide to venture into other people's analysis, I have a handful of people who are perma bulls and a handful of people who are perma bears, so I can always found a counter argument to what it is that I'm thinking is going to happen. And again, the same thing applies. You know, I don't think anything has changed as far as I'm concerned. We are looking for this to work its way out, break out towards the end of this year, as I keep saying. It's frustrating because you have to say the same thing, because I make videos on a daily basis, but really, you know, I could make them on a monthly basis. I don't really see any change into how I think this is going to behave. As far as the total 2 is concerned, you know, this is exactly what you'd want to see for any entry point on any altcoin within this, you know, market cap, I suppose, within the top 10, top 20. top 40 or whatever. You know, you're looking for these kinds of setups for a V-shaped recovery and then some, and that's basically what we're looking for and waiting for, and we should be receiving that between now and September. So I'll be stuck on like a broken record talking about the same thing over and over and over again. So let's have a think about the Dixie. What's the Dixie doing? Because again, I'm looking for the Dixie to break down now. So we're starting to see the breakdown. We're already down a reasonable amount, you know, considering lots of people were talking about Dixie's going to break out and it's going to go all the way up the bear market. And I'm like, you know, I just feel like, I can't tell you where the top's going to be, but I do feel like the top will be in soon, and then we're going to come down to this trend line. I think this is what we're looking at. Again, make a video on a monthly basis maybe. That, you know, let's see where we are in a month. I imagine we're going to be a series of lower highs, lower lows, basically, until we find our way down here, September, October, November, and then bounce back up, and that's where the bear market kicks in. At the moment, it kind of looks like that's what's happening. Now, in other news, Coinbase stock come down to a really decent entry point here. If anybody wants to buy a Coinbase stock, I suppose this would be one of the entry points for that, really. 200 exponential and simple moving average and a giant uptrend, getting towards the end of what is going to be a bull market at some point this year. Kapow back up to the previous highs and then some. So I'm looking for this as a really good entry point. I took a position on this yesterday. It's not normally something I would do, take a position on a Friday, you know, like a stock position on a Friday. Because you got, especially with crypto related stocks, kind of crazy, but here we are. Opportunity presented itself, so I'm looking for this to bounce up at some point throughout the next few weeks and months and carry me to some serious profit. Really, it might not happen, you know, just because I said it. I mean, it's real. It's just me and my little old analysis, you know. But there is an opportunity that sits there for anybody who does trade, you know, any kind of derivatives or traditional markets. This is it. This is a place you could go for. It doesn't mean it's perfect. It certainly isn't always perfect, but it was nice around here. Bang! And there's your entry point around $70. Made its way all the way up to 350. I'm not saying it's going to do anything like that. I'm just saying there's rhythm in the chart. There's rhythm in charts like this. And it is crypto related, and I believe crypto will also bounce and move its way back up again. Let's have a look at Ethereum then, shall we? Weak AF, so all the resistances continuing to move further and further down, which makes it harder and harder to be bullish until you're above them. So it's only a matter of time, in my opinion, that we're going to get out of all of this. But we've got resistance now at 2,700. We've got resistance here, 2,800. Oh, what's this? 2,950. What's this? 2,000, 3,070, 3,000. There's so much resistance in this, what is just around about a 10% move, well, 13, 14, 16% move. We've got 16% of skirmishes to win, really, before we can sort of reign triumphant and move our way back up. There's not a great deal of getting too much hope involved with altcoins in the short term, while Ethereum looks like this. What we do have, though, is a movement up on the RSI. You know, we've also got higher lows. It's mostly higher lows. We've got horizontal highs there. So it is bullish divergence to a degree. But really what we're staring at is sideways with a death cross on the 4-hourly, death cross on the daily. And until we get back above those, any opportunity to short it is going to take place at those 200 exponentials. So the 4-hourly gets you 2,900. And the daily is around 3,070, I believe. 3,070. So until we see that, that's basically resistance and rejection central. All altcoins sort of should be relatively fearful as we approach these areas. So if you're looking for quick and easy trades, you kind of should probably just wait. Just wait. Don't FOMO a breakout. Wait for a breakout and a retest and then try it. If you have conviction in the market like I do and a particular bias that we're going to move up generally over time, then yeah, it's up to you where you buy. These are all considered to be significant lows as far as I'm concerned. And we're looking for it to creep out and then break out and then rally up and then basically pop at some point, you know, towards the end of the year. Again, you know, it's boring, isn't it? Just talking about, you know, charts that aren't doing anything. It is boring. It is frustrating. But there's opportunity across the board in altcoins and Bitcoin and crypto related stocks. It's very difficult to find the absolute low, and like we've just seen with that short signal on Bitcoin, the low could be further, further deeper than where we are right now, which is a scary prospect for those of us who are already heavily invested. But if it does come down there, there is still significant and strong support that should be taken advantage of, whether it's futures or spot or both. Now, I'm just going to leave it with you there. There's not a great deal more to say. Most altcoins pretty much look awful. There's a handful of altcoins that look pretty awesome. But because most of the market is going to be based around Ethereum's strength, because Ethereum is going to basically dictate the total twos breakout and the Bitcoin dominance chart. It's only really when Ethereum decides to turn its corner do we see these charts move, because it has such a strong influence on them. And I think this is why this chart has just been allowed to creep back up, because the Ethereum to Bitcoin chart just continues to go down. So this chart isn't as useful as it used to be. We might be able to have an edge over it at some point, but I haven't really found an edge on it at all, really. It's just not. It's just always proved this cycle to be disappointing. So with that, we'll just finish on Ethereum to Bitcoin, and we'll have a look at the nature of that right now. Continuing to move down, but still hanging around on this horizontal 0.027. What else do we see? Well, we've got some uptrends, higher highs, higher lows, RSI and MFI. We've got Bollinger Bands pinching, so maybe we're looking for a turnaround point. We're up just under 1% at the moment. We've got the bullish divergence on the money flow index, one giant one of that. There's evidence to say that we're going to reverse from here. There really is. But until we see it, it's just a good guess, really. I can't say if it's definitely going to do it. There is evidence for it, okay? That's all I'm saying. There is evidence that it will happen, but until it actually does happen, all we see is evidence for it. We can't say that it's definitely going to. And I think given the state of the cycle so far, there's no reason to expect it to, other than that simple drive of the mega bull div on the money flow index, which normally a single drive like that on a long-term downtrend like this, I mean, it's not a single drive, you got three drives, 1, 2, 3. But, so it is enough for it to turn around and reverse. It really is, honestly, enough for it to turn around and reverse. But just because that's saying it's going to do it doesn't mean that it actually is going to do it. But if it's going to do it from anywhere, this really would be one of the most appropriate places for it to do it. Horizontal area of significance, top, support, breakdown, support. Bullish div on the money flow index. So again, I'm not calling for it. But if it were to happen from here, it'd be one of those things that in 6 months, in hindsight, you'd look back and go, well, of course it was going to do it. Made support. And it also has 3 drives of bullish divergence on the money flow index on the weekly. And that's normally enough for it to go. So yeah, I like it. But, would I put my life on it? No. Would I put some money on it? Yeah, I would, yeah. That's what it's all about. Right, I'm going to leave it with you there. Nothing much more to say. If you want to join the live stream, we're going to do one tomorrow night. Sunday night live stream is quite a relaxing way to finish the weekend and prepare yourself for what could be a bumpy week. I'm very optimistic about the way the market's going to go. I know everybody feels washed out and sad and depressed about it, but this is how it goes, really. If anyone was around in 2020, this is how it was in 2020. It's probably worse than this, actually. People forget that because they always remember how good 2021 was, but actually 2020, when you're leading into that to December to January where it all turned round, altcoins were wreck city, absolute wreck city. Nobody wanted them, and that's what you want. If you're going to get big green candles, it's when nobody else is buying, and then everybody gets attracted to the big moves, and it creates this continuous parabolic move. But until that happens, it's usually pretty sad and depressing. It feels a bit sad and depressing at the moment, but it could be worse, it could be sadder, it could be more depressing. And like I was saying yesterday, there is a chance that we do see one big capitulation in the market. Bitcoin maybe pushes down into the mid-80s, and then from there, bang, up and away we go. If you want people to capitulate, you got to shake them completely out. You got to drive them to despair. And a lot of people have bought altcoins at the highs. You remember what it was like in December? Everybody was talking about, oh, this is it, man. Oh yeah, we're already up 400%, so it's time to buy. Somebody bought the top of all those altcoins. It certainly wasn't me, but somebody did. We sold it to them. But I mean, that's how it goes. Most people, and again, I'm not talking about you, but most people, and this is just human nature, really. It takes a lot of sort of practice and experience, I suppose, to get over this concept. And I know that it's simple. You've got to buy low, sell high, but most people, unfortunately, cannot see beyond what is presented in front of them. They literally can't see any further than the tip of their nose. And so you've got these charts that are going up and they're going up and they're going up. And so the average Joe is going to buy thinking it's going to go up tomorrow. But most of the time, they're buying close to, if not the absolute top. And it's the same with the downtrends, really. Most people will only see what's right in front of them. A significant, long-lasting downtrend. They fail to recognise the momentum shift, and with that, comes a missed opportunity. But it does take balls, like what Matt Damon was saying when he bought the top in 2021. Fortune favours the brave. You do have to be brave to buy into a parabolic top. Obviously, you have to be a maniac to do that, but it does take some bravery to sort of buy into consistent, long-lasting downtrends like this one for Ethereum, for instance. But if it's going to be done, you've got an area right now with, well, I suppose evidence, like I said, to suggest a turnaround and maybe even a full-on reversal, or at least a reversal into a move of perhaps maybe 70 or 80%, which is enough really to spark some kind of continuous move for the rest of the altcoin market. Anyway, that's all I've got to say, really. There's nothing much more to say about this boring old market. But remember, whatever happened yesterday, it's not just crypto that suffered. It was all the markets that suffered. So yeah, the Bybit situation is one thing, but the rest of the market is doing it also. It's 2% on the S&P in a day is a big deal. Yeah, it doesn't often happen. It happened yesterday. So are they influenced by Bybit? I don't think so. No, they're not at all. The S&P doesn't care if Bybit is solvent or not. The S&P does its own thing. And all markets are generally connected, and we saw all markets move down yesterday. So we'll leave it there. There's nothing much more to say. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.